Hey Chris, hey Jennifer, Jason here. Debbie and I have been going through the comps again and again and again, trying to get you the best, most accurate information we can. And it's a lot of information to absorb. So what I thought I would do is create this quick little video and talk through the most relevant comps that we're looking at. And of course, all of this will be attached in a PDF to go to you as well, so you can look at it on your own. But I'm going to share my screen. Obviously, this is the home, 141 Tuckahoe Drive, that we're looking at. We went out just over a half a mile looking for homes that might be similar, recently sold, that are, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage primarily. And of course, location plays a part, and all of these are within a half a mile. So, but if we start with our base, right, the one that we're most interested in, which is 141 Tuckahoe, we can see that it's been listed for a day at $450,000, but it breaks down to a 4-bedroom, 3 full baths, 2,600 square foot, and $173 a square foot price, or asking price. Obviously, we know that it's got a new roof, it's got new flooring, it's got new kitchen, it's got new appliances, it's got new HVAC even. So there's a lot of cool stuff to go along with this house, no doubt about it. But when we compare it to the homes that have sold that are most similar to this one, for example, 342 Lynchburg Drive, which is not too far away, but you can tell this was listed at 365, sold for 395. This is a much different home. Obviously, this is a very traditional home. It's only 2,500 square foot. So our home, while is 2,600 square foot, when you finish the basement, obviously it's going to be 3,400 square foot. But this was still a very nice home. We've gone through and compared kind of as best as you can, apples to apples, looking at the condition of the home. And so you can see, obviously this is a very nice home. It was only on the market for 5 days and sold for over asking. So 395, 2,500 square foot. So, maybe another, the difference is obviously $55,000 for that additional, 25, 34, 900 square foot of living space once the basement's done. It kind of makes sense. Before the basement's done, though, I guess the bottom line here is this doesn't really represent what you could expect once your improvements have been done. 362 Lynchburg, again, same street. This one I think is the strongest comp. This is the one that I think, and Debbie thinks, that the seller must have used in order to try to justify their price. So I think this is our number one strongest comp. It sold for $426,000 at the end of October, so like 6 weeks ago, and it's 2,700 square feet. So we have 2,600 square feet of living space. This one was 2,700 square foot of living space. This doesn't have a basement. This one doesn't have any unfinished potential, and it's still sold for $426. This is also a very, very nice home, 2-car garage, brick exterior, completely done to the nines on the inside. Everything looks to be in really good condition, nice, fresh, beautiful colors, recessed lighting, updated kitchen, granite. This one looks like it has a gas stove. So I know, yeah, it does. So nice backsplash. So very nice home, very, very similar in size, 2,700 square foot. Ours is 26, but we have 800 square foot of unfinished living space in the basement. So that would easily make up the difference, right, in terms of the price per square foot, or the value that an appraiser might perceive. So this is a really, really good comp. That was 362 Lynchburg. This one is 313 Maxwell Lane. So this one sold for 442, which we thought was really interesting, but it is on the water. And so that makes a big difference, right? It sits right on the edge of a little pond here that runs into Deep Creek. So that's where this big difference is coming from, I think, is the water. It's really hard to compare water to not water, but it was 3,000 square foot. So it's a really good size home. Also happens to be on the water, you know, but we could trade the water for our basement potential and see a very similar justification of sale price, 442,000 in this particular case. And then of course we have Keith Road, which is the house that we looked at originally. It is under contract now at $394,000, and we know that it needs quite a bit of work. You know, based on the home inspection that they shared with us, it needs quite a bit of work. It's 3,100 square foot. Well, everything looked great on the, you know, that was visible. There was obviously some things, some neglected maintenance items that are going to have to be taken care of with this particular property. We don't know what the actual contract price is. They won't tell us that until after it's closed. But I think we can probably assume it's very close to this. I don't think it would be more than 400,000, but I would guess it's very close to the list price of 394. So I guess I said all of that to say that in Debbie and I's opinion, 450 is a little high for this house. I would be much more comfortable if we could get it for 425, because I think your upside potential on this house is probably 465 after the basement's done, because it is the largest house in the neighborhood. I can just kind of show you where these comps came from. So you can tell here on this map, you know, this is where all of our comps are. This is our subject property right here. So everything's really close, but there are no comps of this size in Tuckahoe, right? And so this is the largest home in Tuckahoe that has sold in the last couple of years. And you know, there's something to be said for buying the biggest, baddest house in the neighborhood. You're just not going to see the appreciation that the smaller homes will see, even with your basement. I feel like your upside potential is 465-ish, you know, give or take a little bit. Obviously, you know, you could have 3 different appraisers appraise things differently. So it's all very subjective. I would say there's as much art to appraising as there is science. There's no hard and fast black and white rule that says this is how much it's worth. It just doesn't work that way. It's too subjective. But I did want to present the comps as best I can and help you see what we see. I feel like 450 is high for this house, which doesn't mean not, you know, somebody could go and pay 450. I just don't feel like, you know, they're going to get the return that you would like to see, you know, 5, 6, 7 years from now, depending on obviously what the market does. So I also can't see into the future. So, I mean, who knows, you know, if inventory levels continue to collapse, prices are going to continue to go up. I don't know, but I can tell you based on the comps that Debbie and I are looking at right now, 450 is high. It just is, in my opinion. 450 is high. But I don't want to make the decision for you guys. I just want to tell you what I think. And so I would be much more comfortable with, you know, a 425 sale price, because I figure it's going to cost, you know, maybe 15,000 ish to finish out the basement, maybe more, 15, 20,000, depending on the finishes you choose. And so if your upside potential is 465, you know, you've got to have a little motivation or profit margin in order to get that work done. So that's my thought. I hope this is helpful to you. Attached to this email is a PDF of all of these comps and their statistical comparisons. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you'd still like to write that offer, I am more than happy to do it. So we'll talk soon. All right, let me figure out how to stop recording now. And there, see you later.